Mentioned that we have live team coverage for you. It continues with Local 22's Devin Bates. He's here to let you know more about that aspect of the story.
Well, I'm being told these protesters, it was a youth-led effort, many of them being with the Extinction Rebellion group. Now, they actually held a rally outside here on the State House grounds before the State of the State address got started, and they said their goal was to disrupt this in an effort to try to get legislators to focus more on climate change. And at least today, we did see a lot of legislators having to answer to environmental-related questions following the address. The state of the state is an urgent climate emergency in the eyes of over a dozen protesters who called on Governor Phil Scott and the legislature to set more aggressive targets than those in the Paris Climate Agreement, interrupting an address they called a wasteful, feel-good platform.
I think a lot of people will say it was undemocratic and it's hurting our cause, but at this point it was nothing compared to how undemocratic our government is in facing the facts and prioritizing corporations over people.
It was certainly a direct message to lawmakers, but House Speaker Mitzi Johnson had a message for them as well. There could be more effective ways to get a point across.
Everybody is seeing the critical importance of action, and some of those wavering votes in the middle aren't persuaded by disruptive actions.
Similar to last year, Johnson and other leaders like Senate President Pro Tem Tim Ashe praised the tone of Scott's address and singled out some promising areas of collaboration. Chief among them was a new proposal for a universal after-school network that would align students' days with the length of a typical workday.
Many of your viewers might not immediately project as an important issue, really is a major workforce issue. If we can find a strategy there, there was no way to pay for it in the speech, so we got to figure out those details. But in general, most of the priorities are ones that are already shared between the legislature and the governor.
This week we learned Progressive Lieutenant Governor David Zuckerman is planning a run at the governor's office, creating an opportunity for another lawmaker who's already alerted the Senate and Speaker of his plans.
If Lieutenant Governor Zuckerman makes the decision next week to run for governor, then I am going to be running for Lieutenant Governor.
With that shakeup, we asked Speaker Johnson if we should expect any announcements from her office.
I think my major announcement is that I am very focused on the job of being Speaker. I have an amazing team, and we have work that Vermonters expect us to do.
Now, Holly Morehouse, the executive director of Vermont After School, released a statement after the address saying she is welcoming the idea of that universal after-school program. And as you heard, some kind words there on the tone of the speech from some Democrats here in the Capitol behind me. But someone who did not have some nice things to say about this speech, the Vermont Democratic Party as a whole, Christopher DeMezzo, releasing a statement recently. He's the spokesperson for the Vermont Democratic Party, saying Governor Phil Scott did what he does best: posture, pretend, and play governor. So we'll have much more on the statement from the party a little bit later on. You can see the difference in tone there from the Democratic Party of Vermont and then some of the legislators inside. We'll have more on that later, but for right now, we're live from the State House. Devin Bates, Local 22 News.